Hello beautiful souls, and welcome back to my channel Soul Journey. My name is Becca Himza, and today we are doing an energy reading for the collective. So today I'm going to do a little bit of a different reading. I'm going to lay cards out as we go, so we'll see how that goes. I'm going to light some incense. Right now I'm really in like a deep replenishing time. This last week has been kind of a lot. Like really good, but a lot. And so I'm really just in this space of like taking a day at a time, being nurturing to myself, really going inward, really getting clear on my perspective and intentions. I go put this in the thing. Should we light a few candles? I think we're gonna light a few candles. Yeah, so I'm just kind of chilling. But also getting like a lot of sparky. Getting a lot of clarity. Really getting present with my intentions, because I'm noticing when I'm not doing them, it's just not great. So yeah, really getting clear with myself. So today we're gonna do something pretty chill. Gonna hang out with my rock. This rock came from a labyrinth that a dear friend of mine tended to for several years at her house. She created a labyrinth for the public, and when she opened it for the first time, we did like a very sacred ceremony and we put our intentions in it. It was really cool. And recently she moved and she's not going to take the labyrinth with her, and so she said I could come in and take whatever I wanted from it, because it was she's just gonna leave it because it was time to kind of close that chapter. It's an intense portal. I used to walk it all the time. So she's like, take what you want, like literally anything, take boxes, I don't care. So I went out and took like a bunch of the rocks. A lot of them were from her sister, who does rock painting, and so her sister would bring her stones from the ocean that she died for, and there was a lot of crystals and everything. Anyway, I took a bunch of them because their energy is so infused, but then I also had this very intense intuition that I was supposed to take some of these and like give them to other people to kind of like bring that energy into their space. And so every once in a while I'll put one in one of the boxes that I send out, give them to people, whatever. But there are definitely a lot that I'm holding space for myself, and maybe one day I'll have my own labyrinth and I'll put them in that labyrinth. I feel like there's a sacredness there. But anyway, I've been really, since it's winter here and I'm not able to like sit on the ground, I'm really enjoying like grounding into these sacred beings, sacred objects. There's so much intention in them, and it's very, very healing and grounding. For those of you who don't know, obviously you can work with crystals, but rocks are also, there's a similar kind of makeup, obviously, and they have a very different kind of energy, but they definitely have an energy, and they can be infused in a very similar way. So it's just so beautiful. So anyway, let's get on to the reading. Today is January 30th. We just crossed over into Aquarius. A lot of us are liberating. A lot of us are exploring our own personal journey, releasing a lot. It can be an intense kind of energy. Obviously, we're like in the age of Aquarius, so I think a lot of us feel this like intense movement forward when it comes to our journeys in Aquarius. So I think a lot of us are feeling that. So let's get into the reading. I know I didn't do one last week. Like I said, oh my God, my nose keeps running. Stop. Okay. A lot of us are feeling this like real deep intensity. And is that what I was talking about? Lost my train of thought. Okay. Oh yeah, I didn't do a reading last week. So we're doing one this week. Like I said, my rule for this channel, as you all know, I love bringing content to this channel, it really brings me a lot of joy. But if I'm working on my personal journey, that comes first. And if that doesn't include making videos, then that's okay. For those of you who don't follow me on my other platforms, I am dabbling in the idea of starting a second channel that's a little more lifestyle based. So this would be more the spiritual side of the soul journey, and then I'm thinking about starting a second channel that's more the physical side of the soul journey, you know, really embracing the human experience, creating abundance, sustainable living, veganism, self-care, self-love, like those types of topics. As we jokingly say in my soul family, the more human side of things. And so I'm really playing around with that concept. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to start that. So if you guys are interested in that, definitely comment down below. I will, if I do start that, which I think I'm going to, because it seemed like it got a pretty good reception to the idea on my other platforms. So when that happens, I will let you know, because you can go. And if that resonates with you, cool. If it doesn't, also, that's totally fine. I feel like it's going to have a different audience. Like there's going to be some crossover, and then there will be 2 different audiences. So I'm kind of excited about that. So yeah, so I'm working on that too. A lot's happening this year. I've got some really big projects I'm working on for like animal conservation and things like that. So stay tuned. I think I'm going to kind of, I don't know if I have 2 channels. I'm not sure where I'm going to put some of these things now. So I got to figure that out. Maybe I'll do a little of both. Anyway, let's get into the reading. Today we are using the Vintage Wisdom Oracle, the Crystal Unicorn Tarot, the cuteness, I can't, the Light Seers Tarot. We're using a lot of decks today. The Use Your Light Oracle, Work Your Light, the Work Your Light Oracle, and the Frequency Tarot by Teal Swan, which I kind of consider an oracle deck as well. So like I said, I'm going to do this a little differently, and I'm going to pull cards as I'm reading. So let's see how this goes. I often find that just like different readings come out when I do that, right? Like it really kind of makes it a little different. It's obviously very intuitive. I pull cards kind of in the same way I pull them when I'm preparing the video, so it's not that different. It's just kind of going along. Anyway, let's see how it goes. So for our main energy today, let's pull Kindred Spirits. All right. So what I kind of wanted to do that was weird. Did I feel like it was buzzing? Today I've kind of decided that for each of the cards that I pull, in this oracle, I'm also going to pull a tarot card to kind of like lean in even farther into the message. Okay, so we have 2 of Pentacles to go with Kindred Spirits. All right, so we've got Kindred Spirits here and 2 of Pentacles. So what I'm really feeling like is this is really talking about creating a balance between your community and yourself. I think we tend to lean into one or the other, and this week coming is really going to be about making time for yourself, but then also really making time for that soul family, those kindred spirits. That's really, really important. And also balancing the kindred spirits we have in the spirit and in the physical. So kind of these 4 pieces of your spirit, you know, your kindred spirits in the present and your personal space, and then also your kindred spirits in the real and the physical and the spiritual. So making sure you kind of hit all of those marks, and I think that's really, really important. All right, what's going to assist us with this? We're gonna find out. Yep. Guardian Angel. That's interesting. Let's see what the tarot has to say with that. It's a little different, guys. Let me know down in the comments if you like this. The Hanged Man. Or the Hanged Unicorn, rather. All right, Guardian Angel with the Hanged Man. Okay, so I feel like this is kind of talking about, I think oftentimes we see our guides as spirit beings. And I think this week we're going to be kind of like flipping that on its head and being kind of like, okay, we have teachers in the physical. We can have guardians and guides in the physical as well. They are just as important. We're all, spiritual beings in physical bodies. So we all have a spirit aspect to us. So leaning into this kindred spirit piece, understanding that in the physical, those relationships are just as valid as our spiritual relationships. And yeah, they might have a different perspective from our spirit guides, but this week we're going to be learning a lot from our community. And so kind of shifting that idea of what the guardian angel is on its head is actually going to be really, really helpful. All right, what's going to hinder us? What's going to hinder us? Oh, hold up. I felt it. Is it this one? Is it this one? It's both of them. All right, and actually there's 3 here. Let's just like pull it and like, let's see. Okay, should I pull a card for each of these? Maybe. All right, so the first one we have here is celebration. So I feel like this is about not, well, I'm gonna pull a card. I'm gonna stick to what I said. Celebrate good times, come on. 2 of Wands. Okay, that's kind of what I was feeling. So celebration is like we're not really allowing ourselves to step into an energy of celebration around these kindred spirits. I think a lot of us are really struggling to feel what people really have to offer us right now. I think a lot of us are getting tired of things and we're not really stepping into just really like loving and owning those relationships. And if this doesn't resonate with you also, that's totally fine. But I feel like there is a little bit of kind of just getting tired, kind of getting a little like resentful of relationships and almost feeling like they're more trouble than they're worth. And so that's actually going to hinder us. So the next card we have here is harmony. Flying all over the place. And the card that we're going to get with that, so this is still our struggle. This is still what's hindering us. Oh, no, that was it. 9 of Pentacles. Okay, so I feel like that we are feeling like a lack of harmony in our relationships. And I feel like that's why we're getting tired. The relationships are feeling more draining than we'd like. And I feel like that's because we're not really owning how they can really assist us in a deeper way. Oftentimes I think we find like even our guides, it can be a difficult relationship because they bring a lot of shadow. They bring a lot of awareness to things that are uncomfortable. And so we're not really utilizing that. And we're not feeling a harmony because we're not really wanting to engage in what that mirror is. All right. And the last card here is we have nature. Okay. So let's pull a card for that. This is again, still the hinder. These all came out for the hinder card when it comes to our relationships. Oh, 2 cards are coming out. I am just like obsessively listening to Harry Styles' new album, just as like a shout out. Okay, so in nature, we have the Empress. And then we have 5 of Pentacles. Interesting. So I feel like this is saying like we're really kind of struggling to be ourselves in relationship. A lot of times it feels like a lot of like stuff is coming up. We're not feeling a lot of abundance in the sense of like we feel like we just don't have the energy. We don't have the time to be ourselves. It feels like there's a lot of like stagnant energy. We're really struggling with our identity. And then this 5 of Pentacles comes into that same lack energy of just feeling like we're really struggling to feel nurtured by our friends and family. But again, I think it's because that like shadow's coming up and a lot of that. So what's going to assist us again is that shift in understanding the teacher piece, and creating that balance between ourselves, our friends and family and soul family and our spirit guides and our personal time. So I feel like we're struggling with this like celebration of what the relationships are meant to be versus like what we'd like them to be. I think that is really our struggle right now. So let's dive a little deeper. All right, so there's a lot of cards here and I have a small table. I need a bigger table, guys. I pulled too many cards. All right, so let's get into the Light Seers Tarot. Those of you who know, this is like my current favorite deck. Oh my God, everything's flying everywhere. It is my current favorite deck. I love it so much. And I'm really literally working on it right now. I'm really working on, okay, I am working on a current favorite decks video, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so our main energy around this is Ace of Cups. Okay, so I feel like we're coming into a new space. We're coming into a new space of our emotions. We're really trying to figure out like who we are, what it feels like, but we're also leveling up. So a lot of this is becoming there's a lot coming up, right? And so I feel like that's why we're struggling with the beings in our lives. We're struggling with the fact that's like, you know, who am I to you? What is our relationship? Because everything's leveling up and oftentimes things kind of re-jostle around. So that can be like a lot of effort and a lot of, cards are wanting to come up. There's a lot of effort that we're putting in on ourselves personally. So I think that's also like a piece of like creating that balance, because we're so focused on ourselves and our journeys that we're kind of struggling to know how like the beings around us really fit into that equation. And, so we need to really start engaging with those relationships in a different way. As we evolve, we're going to start engaging in those relationships differently. So we're going to see them as teachers. We're going to see them as mirrors and reflections. And instead of trying to get our needs met through the back door and trying to, you know, like if you're not feeling loved, if you're not feeling heard, it's better to look at that as like, okay, where's the mirror? Where's the lesson? What am I vibrating in, instead of going like, you aren't doing this for me. So we're not celebrating what they're actually giving us. We're wanting it to be something else. So what's going to assist us with that is Two of Swords. All right. So really taking a beat. And really, again, we're evaluating a lot. We're in an air energy. We are in a thought energy, mental energy, and Swords is mental. So, really kind of like taking a pause and going, okay, what is it I want? Like, who do I want to be in my life? And what type of relationships do I want to be around? What kind of energies are serving me? And this is really going to help us kind of connect into our authenticity again. We're kind of struggling with being ourselves right now. And so we're really taking a beat and trying to sort out what that is. And of course, as I was saying in a previous video, we went through Capricorn and cleared a lot and got really focused. And then now we're in Aquarius and we're really sorting through our mental and like liberating ourselves. And then we're going to come into Pisces, which may feel like a lot, but it's going to be very important, because as we've sorted through things, those emotions are going to start coming up and we're going to really start getting connected in. Now that we're clear or getting clear, we're coming up into our feelings and our emotions and really engaging with those and going, okay, like, what's going on in here? Now let's connect. Now that we've like released a lot, we can really start connecting with those deep inner feelings and really getting authentic to ourselves. What's going to hinder us is Queen of Pentacles. So yeah, not getting in our bodies, not getting grounded, not really owning our physical sides. I think that's really important. It's very easy to spiritually bypass and go like, no, I'm just a spiritual being. This doesn't matter. And we really need to be present with our bodies. We need to really as we level up, we're going to understand that our physical is a crucial part to our spiritual. That is our current trajectory right now. And that's a huge, huge part. And the physical piece too is neglecting the physical pieces. Those friends and family can feel like a hindrance, but really they're just as much as a guide or a spiritual teacher as our spirit beings. And again, that is kind of also the spiritual bypassing, is this idea of like, if someone's physical, they're not as valid to our evolution in a certain way. And that belief's actually going to hinder us. So one of the spirit cards is the Fool. So I think this is talking about the fact that we are stepping out into a new space. We're stepping out into a whole new level and trusting that and going with it. And really, let yourself fall into the new space and like really own it and get excited about that journey. And the other card here is Six of Cups. So I feel like remembering our authenticity is going to be huge when it comes to like, who were you as a child? What excited you? What brought you peace, joy, and love? And start engaging in those pieces, because that's going to be really important. But also, it's important that we don't stay too focused on the past instead of being like, oh, that was better or it was easier or whatever. There is don't get stuck in that past piece. We are leveling up, and that's really important. All right, and so our main energy for these, is the Devil in reverse. So what we're really dealing with is we're really struggling with being very attached to what was, kind of like what I was talking about. Notice where your attachments are, where your obsessions are. Are they serving you? Attached to old, I also feel like perspectives, because we've got this hangman here with the guardian angel. It's like, what are you attached to when it comes to these relationships? Is it serving you? Is it, relationships evolve when we evolve, and some of those relationships will leave, some relationships will level up. So notice where you're really attached to relationships needing to be the way they were, or your attachment to what you think they should be. That's really important too. And we have one last spirit card here, and we have 3 of Swords in reverse. So I'm really feeling like this is saying, like, if you don't let yourself crack open, if you really don't let yourself feel, that's going to really hinder you. And this is all about getting really, like my last video was saying, like calling ourselves out on our BS and really starting to feel and let yourself feel and get cracked open. That's really, really important. All right, let's get on to the next thing. So we're going to pull a few cards from the Work Your Light Oracle to bring some clarity in here. I think we got, oh, come on. Okay, 2 cards. All right, the first one is Align Your Life. What is not aligned or needs to change? So this card has been coming up a lot. So I really feel like, again, this is like what needs to shift, what needs to evolve, what are you holding on to, and is the way you're relating to your friends, family, and spirit guides working for you? Is it serving you the way you're engaging with them? And if it's not, how can you shift it, and what would be a good way to shift it? And the other card here, things flying all over the place, is the Crumbling. What are you clinging on to? Okay, so that's really similar. So, again, where are the old attachments? What's falling away that you don't want to let go of? This could be as big as a relationship, or just the dynamic of a relationship, or maybe you in relationships. Maybe you've always been seeing yourself as the sensitive one, or the calm one, or the angry one, or whatever those traits are. Like, are you, like, does that resonate anymore? And does that serve you? And is that really who you are at your depth when you're going deep? And as you learn who you are your triggers and reactions aligned with that anymore? Because you might find that your reactions are kind of from old paradigms, and you're like, well, wait, that's not me, and that's not working anymore. And the relationships I have, not working anymore. Things are flying everywhere. A lot of energy. All right, and the last card here we have is Dance with Life. Do something to change your energy. So yeah, so I think as we're getting more clear with ourselves and we're liberating ourselves, we're leveling up. We're coming into a new space. We're shifting our energies. And again, a lot of things will be shifting because of that. So do something to change your energy. So if you're really feeling stagnant, or you're feeling like things aren't aligned, you're not shifting, like, look at things differently. Again, that Hanged Man piece is really important. In a reading I just got recently, I got 2 Hanged Mans because I was working with 2 decks, and I was like, oh my God, so much is shifting. And again, that liberating energy, that like coming into a new space. Dance with life. Do something to change your energy. So maybe it's time to engage in things that really elevate your energy. That's really going to help you release resistance to the things that are changing. And the final thing, I'm actually feeling like there's 2. We're going to pull from the Frequency Tarot. And the intention for this is to find what are the frequencies we can bring in. There's one. There's the other. What are the frequencies we can bring in to assist us in this? So I have my book down here. And the first, all right, we have in reverse, we have self-exploration. So if you want to do a screenshot of that, you can also go to her website and, either screen grab this or purchase one of her items. Again, this is not sponsored. I've just found that they really help. And this is 51. So we've got a reverse card here, which is interesting. I don't usually pull reverses for this deck. We have 51. All right, self-exploration. If you have drawn this card in reverse, it is time to search outside of yourself for the purpose of discovery. You are being called within yourself You're being called within yourself to a place of total self-awareness on a spiritual, mental, and physical level. But you are currently meant to see yourself more clearly by looking outside yourself for the answers. Interesting. This is a time to be extroverted. Explore the world you live in. This might be the perfect time to travel and new experiences. You are living your life in a state of subconscious reactivity. Be open to finding yourself by engaging with others, trying new things, and fully experiencing the world you live in. So again, revisiting our physical relationships, our physical being. But since this is having to do with our relationships, is start really delving into those. This is where the juiciness is at right now. And we can do a lot of internal work, but again, creating that balance between doing the internal work and then really exploring the mirrors that are outside of you. Are the relationships you're having feeling relevant? Are they feeling like they're fulfilling? And if not, why? Start exploring the outer, because oftentimes it's such an important mirror for actually knowing what's going on internally, because you're like, okay, this keeps happening. What are my internal beliefs that are causing that to happen? And the other card is a upright, speak from the heart. Okay, so again, with the authenticity, and that's 56. Let's see what we got here. If you've drawn this card upright, you need to communicate your personal truth to someone. Imagine your heart as a separate being that lives inside of you. What does your heart feel like? Does your heart feel appreciated and loved, or does it feel ignored and undervalued? Begin by asking your heart directly, what makes you unhappy? What do you need for me to do differently? A lot of this is about shift in perspective and changing things. If you could have one wish, what would it be? And what do you have to tell me? You will receive the answers on an intuitive level. When we speak from the heart, we speak from the core of ourselves. We speak from a place that is vulnerable enough that it does not put others on defense. Speaking from the heart allows for much deeper conversation. Your job now is to communicate those truths to the other person. Okay, so again, this is about opening up communication. This is about speaking from authenticity. And as we really are delving into each other, and I think that piece about, speaking from a place of truth that isn't harmful, isn't from a space of fear, because oftentimes we're like, this is my truth, but it's coming from a fear space. It's feeling like we're not going to get listened to, and we're still defensive. So when you speak from the heart, it's a vulnerable space. It's a soft space. It's a loving, understanding space. And it's also a loving, understanding space for yourself. So if you're in an authentic, cracked, open energy, you can be like, oh, I'm so angry. But then if you get real about it, you're like, oh, I'm like in a lot of pain. I'm scared. This doesn't feel good. I don't feel nurtured. Like whatever it is, that's actually what's going to really open up your relationships. And as we balance out our relationship with ourselves and our physical relationships and our spiritual relationships, but this is really more about the physical relationships in our lives. I think oftentimes when we think of spiritual relationships, or the relationships that are going to assist us really on a deep level, I think some of us do look at the physical, but oftentimes we're like, well, what are my guides saying? What is spirit saying? And this week, and yeah, it's really going to be about what are my guides in the physical saying to me? Where are the reflections, and what do I really need to look at? So that is today's message. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, comment them down below. If it resonated, definitely comment down below. If you would like a personal reading with me, you can head down to my description to my Etsy shop, where I offer different types of readings along with some other soul journey tools. And I'm also currently doing a giveaway on my Instagram. So if you're interested in that, go to the links down below. And I am pulling a winner on February 14th, 12th? 14th. 14th is Valentine's Day. I'm pulling one winner, and I will be gifting them a free reading. So go check it out. It's one of my most recent posts. It's my most recent one with like tarot cards in it. It's actually this tarot deck specifically. So go check that out, see what the rules are, and if you'd like to get that free reading, sign up. It's very easy. There's not a lot of rules. There's just a few. So yeah, go definitely check that out. If you like this content, definitely give it a like and hit subscribe if you want to see more of this in the future. I do try to do these every week, but again, self-love comes first. Like I said, there's so much new content coming this year. I'm so excited. I'm just really feeling very motivated. So stay tuned because a lot's coming and things are going to get ramped up. I'm very stoked. So definitely subscribe if you want to see more of all this in the future. And if not, totes fine. Blessings on your journey. Thank you for being here, either long-term or short-term. I have gratitude for whatever this exchange was. So thank you so much for being here. You are a beautiful being. Thank you for being on this journey with me, with the rest of the planet. Thank you for bringing your own personal brand of medicine. It's really magic, and I have much gratitude for you and what you can teach me. And I'm excited to share what I have for you. And this is a beautiful exchange. So thank you so much. You are beautiful. So thank you so much, you guys. Many blessings. Namaste. And don't forget, it is all about the soul journey.